Hello, everyone, and today we're looking at the ongoing square between Jupiter and Gemini and Saturn in Pisces. The name of this transit, for some reason, I put the word uprooting. And how would you associate that with your life? Uprooting sounds a little bit stressful. Just like any square in astrology is a place of the most impact and the most resistance. It is that point where the signs in the same modality, which is the mutable signs, Gemini is a mutable sign, Pisces as well, are looking for the same thing but in different ways. I will give you a metaphor. We've got Jupiter in Gemini, and that is the energy of a child playing in the sun, in the sand pit, making wonderful castles, multi-story castles, but it is made of sand. So if there is any shakeup, is gone. Beautiful castle, beautiful idea, beautiful optimism about it. As you know, the sandpit is quite a messy place, full of opportunities to express the creativity and put almost anything that our mind can think of into reality. And energy of friction there is the Saturn in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces is that mom and dad, probably tired, sitting on the bench, watching the kid, making those castles, getting their hands dirty. But they also see everything that is beyond the sandpit. They know that there's cars passing by on the streets, random dodgy people, maybe just some really questionable characters passing by. And that's all outside this idealistic, beautiful, innocent, young, a bit naive, optimistic place. And the parent just knows that. What a contrast that is. And that is the metaphor. And uprooting is for the child, it is uprooting of any limitation that they don't even know about because they're within that space and their ideas have safety net of flying high and anything is possible in the sandpit. And the parent who knows there's a bigger world there and the world can be crushing and the world is definitely not a sandcastle. It requires a plan and financing and approvals. If you want to build a castle in the real world, go about and try it. Would you be optimistic about it? So I think that's the best way I could describe the energy. So we will have an exact conjunction happening on the 20th of August, Sydney time of 2024. One more, 25th of December 2024. It's a bit of a dance back and forth. Saturn is that serious energy of borders. It represents the bones. So the bones look scary, but we're gonna look even scarier if we didn't have any bones. We would look like a sack of noodles, I guess. The noodles that just been a bit too long in the water. And that's the job of Saturn, to say, hey, can you actually physically do this? Can we withstand this? How it's going to go in the long run? Interestingly enough, sometimes it likes to be pushed against because, if you're not going to do weights exercises, like weights in terms of giving your bone some chance against lack of bone density, it's proven that the more we use gravity in our exercise routine to enhance the bone density, we have less issues down the line. So that's kind of like the long-term vibe with the Saturn. And here we go. Jupiter is the kid in the sandpit. He's like, oh my God, sand tastes amazing. Let's just give it a go. Let's try it. Let's screech without teeth and see if we like it. It's very Jupiter doesn't like to be in Gemini that much. It's at home in Sagittarius. But in Gemini, it's really keen to try things and get that personal experience and really see how far an idea can go, how far the experience can go. And the square is in the mutable signs. So that means, hey, how about uprooting your worldview? How about uprooting your mind? How about uprooting your skill set and everything that you do? What happens if we make not the castle this time? How about we do an Eiffel Tower? How about we create a huge, I don't know, kangaroo out of the sand? What happens if we add some water? What happens if we create a new shape? So trying out new shapes and experimenting and seeing how that actually sticks and what the wise parent, how is the wise parent going? How is their blood pressure going? Is it too much? Is it a lot already? So here the thing that can balance this is actually what is redundant, what is no longer. To prepare for the 2025, we kind of are going through that change mode. The change mode is here. Around May next year, May 2025, we do have another loosish square in the last degrees. It's not going to be exact, but it will be loose-ish. And then, kaboom, both planets change signs, and they change signs weirdly kind of around the same time. And on the 10th of June, 2025, we have a cardinal square. Saturn will be entering Aries and Jupiter will be entering Cancer, and they will be squaring then, 10th of June. So whatever changes that you're doing right now, they could start as wishy-washy, but they will be really in your face 10th of June and around that time. And again, when I say a date, it doesn't mean like, okay, that's one date and that's it. Like, you can go back to sleep. No, it's like the peaks, right? The peaks and valleys. We still look at the landscape, but we just see peaks and valleys. So when I say a date, it's most likely the peak. Right there, that change that you have made, there will be something happening. Something happening with the sandpit, something happening with the street, and people who walk on that street. There would be like a stagnant difference there. But good news, in November next year, 2025, you will feel like whatever you have made redundant and it's no longer working, you have removed it and really opened yourself up to new opportunities. They will be coming with emotional charge, and ideally, knowing that you have done your homework, there would be a feeling of deep spiritual, emotional satisfaction, that bliss. 15th of November 2025, Jupiter and Saturn will be trining each other. Saturn will be retrograding back into Pisces, and Jupiter will be progressing through Cancer, and they will be in a beautiful trine. And that's where a child and the parent meet after a long play session, a mother's embrace. Very beautiful, very sweet, loving, and nourishing, spiritually awakening. So you've got around a year to see, wow, my life is changing. The new paradigm is here. And yeah, by the end of the next year, really relish in the new source you add into your life. So now let's have a look at what Jupiter and Saturn square mean for all 12 signs. Thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video to help more people see this as how YouTube algorithms work. Please share your comments below. I love to read each single one of them, and I look forward to see you in the next videos. We will start with Aries. Aries. So Jupiter square Saturn will be happening in your 3rd and the 12th house. Jupiter will be in your 3rd house and Saturn will be rotating around your 12th house. Saturn is a durable, long-lasting, hardened planet, and it has been in your 12th house for a while. And you probably enjoy this square because it finally kind of like uproots your really darkest corners of your psyche. It's kind of bringing the thing to the surface, and you know what are you working with. You became a little bit emotionally distant from all your baggage, and that's good. That's good because your mind is having a facelift. The third house is the house of how our mind works and how we communicate. And the 12th house is that dungeon that we don't want to go to, but we know stuff is there and we know that is waiting. It's waiting to be organized. Saturn is here drawing that grid on which your subconscious mind works. So for the next 6 months at least, most likely all the way up to middle of next year, you will be really navigating your connection between the everyday stuff and the bigger, bolder, beyond the veil stuff. And I call it stuff because for you it is just stuff. And it could be daunting sometimes just to see through all this information. You still have a life a life to live, right? You don't really want to be doing all this work. But whatever you're doing right now is going to set you up for the next 30 years because Saturn takes ages. It will not be here for another 30 years. And Jupiter squaring it is inviting you to really see, wow, this is what is beneath the surface. Wow, this is what has been holding me back. Wow, this is what I can do differently now. I can really make a change now. And you might be a little bit afraid, but I'm telling you, do not be afraid of anyone, of anything, ever again. I'm wishing you a beautiful transit. This would be a transit that will remove the shackles that have been ruling over your mind. Your mind is the mind of the beginner now, and use that. So yeah, what is your highest goal and what are the everyday practicalities in life? How do they merge together? And how do they fight with each other? Is that pipe dream of yours? How is it going to fit into your mind frame, into your work, where you communicate? By the end of this transit, you would know how to formulate your most cherished wish and to exactly pitch it to the universe to be delivered. You will know so-called place where to order it from. You will know the place where to order your pipe dream from. I'm speaking in metaphors, obviously. It's not going to be long. Maybe it will be on the website in the, I don't know. Maybe it's something that you can't find online. It's really up to you. How do you expand and grow while also being real and understanding the bigger things at life? And sometimes we can't control everything. Yes, we see opportunities they present to us, but we need to know with our intuition and our wise old man inside or woman inside, is this an oasis? Does this really exist? And that's my question to you. Does it exist? And how do you make it real? Love you, Aries. Bye. Taurus, Jupiter and Saturn square will be happening in your 2nd house and 11th house respectively. So Jupiter will be in your 2nd and Saturn will be in your 11th house. Money versus friends, or self-worth versus group dynamic. Would you be jumping from friend to friend to show them how much excitement you have about being associated with them? Or are you going to sort of stay cool and aloof and do your own thing? Do you need them in the long run? Are they really your friends? Are they really there for you when it is not so pretty, when you're not so excited, when you go into your duality mode, when you are thinking black and white. And it could also be not just friends, but groups, organizations, associations, kind of a wider net that you cast in life to achieve your goals. How far are you going to go to get where you need to be? And where is it that you need to be, Taurus? Some situations will be very obvious and others can get confusing. So I would like to give you a little piece of advice. If you want expansion in your finances, in your self-worth, in your current, in your like this beautiful current that you attract things to you have to have a learner's mind. If there is something innovative that you want to learn, something new, go for it. It's a good transit for that. And you will know exactly the person who learned this from. There will be an authority in their world, and you would want to be part of that. So that's how it can play out. As it is a square, it's conflicting energy. So there could be a little bit of a resonance between the interests of the group and your own interests, and you could think that you're more important than the group. Or it could also be that the group puts these rules on you and you're like, hey, let's just stop here for a minute. I am my own person. Okay, so you feel the dynamic here. So just a word of caution for you, Taurus. This transit, make sure that you look closely at your spending habits, saving habits. Are they aligned with the big vision? Are you reaching your goals or are you backpedaling? What are your boundaries? What are your boundaries with friends? What are your boundaries with overreaching? Even like within yourself, are you pushing too hard? Are you turning into a chipmunk? This is just like chasing the nut, or are you like digging and like like squirrels? Sometimes they forget where they put their nuts. They forget. They're in survival mode. They are preparing for the winter, but 50% of the preparations are just running around and putting things everywhere. But where do they actually? Will you retrieve them later? Whatever you're doing right now is the long run happening here, or is it just a instant gratification sort of thing? Taurus, you would want to do things your way, and that's good. But sometimes there are responsibilities that are bigger than you. So I'm just going to leave this one open, okay? This is not a loaded question. You fill in the gaps. Fill in the gaps. Make sure you're filling the gaps with something that will withstand the course of time. Love you, Taurus, and we'll chat to you later. Gemini, this transit will be happening in your first and 10th house. So you are reinventing yourself, and it will come with a little bit of a stretch, but you will be really grateful by middle next year when you have pedal to the metal thing. I don't know. You name it, Gemini. Whatever is the means of you getting there, you can. You can. I'm giving you the hope you need. So you will be feeling very optimistic, very joyful, expansive, and oh my God, I cannot believe my eyes. This is really happening to me. It's really exciting. I'm very excited for you, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Your authenticity is off the charts. Your career is progressing. Your vision comes to fruition, and you've been in a little bit of a karmic review last year or so, and it has been a little bit like, oh my God, am I enjoying what am I doing? And right now you are enjoying this transit. I mean, I could say all the things in the world, but for you it's pretty straightforward. You're going to feel it physically. You're going to feel like I actually need to speak up about what I want, otherwise no one is going to hear me. No one is going to read my mind. No one is going to, I have to sell my vision. I have to sell myself, but like you have to really look at yourself in the mirror and say, I've got this. If you don't, what is going to happen then? Who is going to be ruling your life? It's you, Gemini. It's your time now. Jupiter is in your sign. Use it. Use it or lose it. This is what I'm going to tell you here. Your first house is getting a revamp. Your career, 10th house, is getting a revamp. Change that style. Throw out the old clothes away. You need to, are you in real estate? Like, are you in creative field? Are you changing careers? It's fast. It's fast change, and you're good with the change. You're good with being fast. Maybe the only thing I could say here is, what is stopping you in your tracks? Remember, with one small step, you are one small step closer. If you think it's like, oh my God, it's too much, I cannot really see the top of this tower, I only see the clouds, it's too high, it's too big, will I make it? There's so many stairs. No, look at the next step and just step up. That's it. You don't need to look all the way up and see the like, the what are they called, Aztecs. They were building these humongous towers with multiple steps, and you're just like, oh, okay, can I really do it? I can't. No. Vision. What is the next thing in front of you? Just work with that, and you will be surprised how far you will get. Even by December this year, you'll be like, whew, I'm glad I took that step. So I highly encourage you to use this wonderful transit, even if it's a square. For you, Gemini, it's good. It's good. It's what's gonna make you seen. So make yourself seen and speak your truth. Understand that you are the one making the boundaries, and if life is teaching you otherwise, note it down, save it, use it later as a knowledge, as wisdom. I love you, Gemini, and I wish you the best, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye. Enjoy this transit. Cancer, you will be having Jupiter in Gemini sitting in your 12th house, stirring some deep subconscious material, and Saturn will be in Pisces in your 9th house to uproot your mind, your multidimensional self. What are you dreaming about? What makes you excited about your vision and your place in the world? What are the feelings deep within? What do you do to expand your mind, and how does it drive your soul forward? And if there's anything that you've been a bit rigid about in terms of like, no, this is the way the cookie crumbles and that's how it is. And now you're looking at it and understand that you are growing. And because you are growing, there's more space in you for bigger knowledge, deeper insight, for brave ideas, greater reflections. You truly will feel like, I belong in this world, and I belong in all the other dimensions. I belong because I feel deep. I know a lot. I reach out and I'm not afraid. This is a beautiful time to seek new teachings, expand your mind, time to let go of something that doesn't serve you anymore, like practices or views or whatever just doesn't resonate anymore. It's okay. Like, let it go. It's just knowledge. You will always have it, and you grow with something that is exciting to you. So that's amazing. I really love this transit for you, Cancer. And at the end, when the planets will change signs, when Jupiter will be in your sign next year, you will take all that knowledge in and you will share it with the world. You will put it into practice. I feel we're already lining up to watch you do it, to listen to your wisdom. So Cancer, this is a wonderful time. The only thing I could say, just check in with your spiritual egos sometimes. Don't think you know all the answers. Learner's beginner's mind and humble way will really let you do that release to the point where you're ready for new beginning. And this is what is around the corner for you, Cancer. Love you. Leo, Jupiter will be in your 11th house and Saturn will be in your 8th house. This transit is pushing you to reassess your social circle. You will be a social butterfly, hopping from one place to the next. But the question at the end of the day will be, who are you going to share your secrets with? Who is going to be there for you when you are sick or, God forbid, something happens? Who is that person who is going to be making you feel light? And who is that person who is going to do the heavy lifting in the relationship? So there are like these two different archetypes going on because we are dealing with you being the fixed sign and you are having the square between the two planets in the houses that represent the fixed energy. But because we have Jupiter as well as Saturn in mutable signs, the signs that finalize the season, they change, they redecorate. And here it's like something, the uprooting here is something that was really obvious, really a matter of fact, and now you question it. Are you really on my team? Are you really gonna make me feel good about myself? Do I need to make you feel good about you? What is the bigger vision we share? Is this vision even realistic? You're gonna be really putting your investigator hat on and suss the sus out. And you know how to do that, Leo. I'm telling you. Everyone thinks that Scorpios are the main investigators. Actually, no, it's Leos. Because what Leos? I'm not saying anything about Scorpios. I have a Scorpio moon. I mean, I know the drill. Leos are heart-led leaders. Healthy Leos are in tune with their heart. So your heart will be here like, I know what's up here. Oh, I know what's up here too, which is good. And my question to you, what is your relationship to truth? What is your relationship to deeper truth? What is your relationship to something that people would want to hide? What is your relationship to you not revealing everything that you are to achieve your goals in a particular group? What are the dynamics within the groups that try to control your authority or your status? Or are you the one who is doing the sneaky things, behind the scenes? But I'm telling you, if you want to play dirty here, Saturn has this tendency to break even. And I'm just giving you a little bit of word of caution. It's better to be truthful and realistic than to be naive, idealistic, and then be isolated as a result. So, just my little 2 cents here from what I'm seeing. And please only take what resonates with you, okay? It's a general informational hygiene. We're living in a time of oversaturated information. And yeah, double check your facts. Cross check the facts that you receive from the groups, organizations, and all those things. And see what are the hidden agendas there. What is the bigger picture? Look at the bigger picture and you will see where there are imperfections. I would say this nicely. All right. Good luck, Leo. And yeah, let me know how you feel in the comments, how you feel about this information. I'm curious to hear. Love you so much. Stay strong and heart-centered. Love you. Bye. Hey Virgo, aren't you excited for this transit? Mutable queen in the house. Mutable king in the house. Virgo, your modality is being put at the crossroads, meaning change. Okay, yeah, we have change. Jupiter will be in your 10th house and Saturn will be in your 7th house. So this is like massive. 10th house represents the career, 7th house represents relationships, And I'm going to be simple here because we know, Virgos, you're a fan of simplifying, but before that happens, there's a design process full of chaos because you are here to granulate chaos to the point where it's no longer chaos, it's order. But because we have Jupiter in Gemini, we have Saturn in Pisces, they can be all over the shop. And for you, Virgo, it's like, okay, I am working on something, but what are we actually working on in your work? You have good things, good news, aspirations going for you. What does it mean in relation to people involved, people at the table, people who bid, people who invest, people who give you longer strategies, relationships, financial partners, love partners, how they are fitting in that picture, or the other way around. How's your career fitting and your public life fitting with the relationship? Let's say, I'm going to give you a bad example, but like, let's say you're a stripper. Something that first comes to my mind. And you were a stripper, right? And then you finally get married. You finally get married to someone who is, let's say, I don't know. I don't want to bring any like hot topics into this, but someone who has like dogmatic worldview, who is really traditional. Let's put it mildly. What are you gonna do about it? Are you still gonna go and strip, or are you gonna be like, okay, like maybe I can offer pole dancing lessons now instead of proper stripping. Or I'm just gonna be stripping in front of my husband, like, or my partner, whatever. Yeah, like take what resonates. That's kind of my example. So yeah, career shifts, but what is the price that your relationship is paying? And the other way around. Relationship is getting serious. It's getting like, okay, we're getting down to business. And what other business is there? Is there any business left? So something to think about for you, Virgo. So there has to be a balance, right? Ensure that you don't pay too much on either side. Just make it balanced. Talk about it. That's the main thing. Like, speak about it. It's all about communication. And you can really strengthen your relationship because you will get the support that you need, that you want, and you are going to aim for the long-term success. There's no fluff anymore. Yeah, you just align yourself. And by the end of this transit, you will be much more aligned. And maybe you will, do a duo with your husband. And create a grandiose new brand, a new plan, and a new innovative way to go about what you do in life and in your career. You might join the forces, see that actually we're not that different. You can strip too if you if you could. Maybe not for as much money. Anyway, that's my little take on this transit for you, Virgo. Take it or leave it, love it or hate it. I love you anyway. Bye. Libra. Jupiter will be in your ninth house and Saturn in Pisces will be in your sixth house. So this is about materializing what you think is possible for you and applying yourself at work, having a bigger vision. It could be a bit existential for you with Saturn there, that is squaring the ninth house. Just, it could be better. It could be better, and your daily life could be, you could wish for the best. So the question here, how do you support your habits? How do habits support you? What is your well-being doing? What is your spiritual growth doing? Are you growing spiritually in your daily life? With everything that you do, with how much you sit, with how much you walk, with how much you take a bath, and what is going on? What is going on? Like, you will be thinking about it all the time. And then you'll be having a little bit of push and pull in multiple directions. Do I need to refresh my whole new take on food? Do I need to absolutely redesign everything in my spiritual closet. But again, what is the color of your soul, Libra? What brings you peace? That's gonna be something that you would need, like air and water, something that brings you peace. And sometimes what brings you peace is this thoughts about better life, better future, and then you'll be looking at your life and you'll be comparing, Libra, comparing. You do it naturally, and obviously by the end of this transit you will align yourself and your actions you do every day better with what you truly believe in, and how your beliefs change with your little updates to your everyday life. It could be that you add something, it could be you removing something. So this transit will bring you to even higher ideal, and you will actually see the change and you actually apply yourself. And this will be flowing. It will be flowing. It's not going to be rigid and be like, oh my God, this is it. It's going to be like seasons change and rivers flow. Here we go. Here we go. Sort of vibe. The only thing is your mental state. So how do you balance that? Learn new things. And because you learn new things, there's no pressure, right? It's good on you for trying. So if you just learn something new and keep it fresh and exciting and light, and do not like overstretch yourself for, oh my God, I have to be perfect. No, who cares? It's only you who is caring. So care and do it from the place of love rather than from the place of pressure or dogma or just being like really narrow-minded. Open your mind. This is your opportunity to truly reflect and juggle multiple beliefs, multiple practices, and see what sticks. By the end of this transit, you would probably be really good at the tree pose, or something like that. And you would love it so much, and it will stay with you for the next 30 years. I'm referring to yoga, by the way, the tree pose. It's one of those poses that helps us to stay balanced and focused. Actually, highly recommended for Libra. Yeah, and that's my take on this transit for you. Wishing you best of luck. Bye. Scorpio, Jupiter in Gemini will be in your 8th house, and Saturn in Pisces is in your 5th house. And this is an exciting deep dive into your emotional and creative life. You're going to feel a bit lighter than usual, and you're going to feel like a risk taker, raunchy, enigmatic, and excitingly mysterious in your creative pursuits. This will be a time where you really, really work on your craft, on your art, work with your children, and you will express yourself in a way that will be challenging your past self, the way you thought about yourself in the past. Let's say you always had a comedian flair, and this time you actually go and do stand-up comedy and take the risk and take a risk to be laughed at, but you are up there standing and holding the mic, and if it's a mic drop, well, at least you have tried and you have done it and you feel proud. And that's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling. So while Saturn is in your 5th house, you are getting serious about what do you really want to do with your creative self, your inner child. You're giving them some attention, and you express yourself in a way that is making people like really aware of you. You are loud in a subtle, impactful way. And Scorpio, what's the news, right? So by the end of this transit, you will face any fears around vulnerability. Yeah, because we have Jupiter in the 8th house. But you'll be fine with that. It's just sometimes, are you really going to go to the end for yourself? Or are you going to do a shortcut? Like, that's the only thing. And then you will be turning your ideas into more structured, tangible project management style kind of approach to it, which is good. But again, where do you cut corners? Where do you overshare? Maybe like don't overshare your plans too much. Just, just make that music. Just do that. Like do something and then surprise people. That would really gonna make more waves if you just talk about it and never do it. And then strengthen your emotional bonds with your romantic partners, with your children, becoming more serious about that in a good way and more authentic. And I really sincerely wish you use this transit to accomplish your inner child's most vivid pipe dream. And you can do it. Just make sure that you stick to the end. Love you, Scorpio. Bye. Sagittarius, Jupiter in Gemini in your 7th house and Saturn in Pisces in your 4th house. Wonderful. This would be relationship-focused transit, and much more likely it will be a relationship in your family circle or someone who you call your family, or maybe there's someone who you will call your family eventually. And it's going to be delightful in perhaps new connections that you make. But the tension here is, how do you communicate about your needs, your emotional needs, and what is fair for you in relationship? What do you believe to be true about relationships? What do you believe to be right and correct and good for your family? So you can already feel like, wow, kind of feels like a bit of a lot. And it's true. You and Virgos and Pisces and Geminis, all the mutable signs, are the ones that are dealing with the more fundamental areas of your life. So, of course, because it's close to home, literally, it's going to be much more saturated in its meaning for you. And obviously, you can put your hand in the sand and let it all work out on its own. And trust me, everything works out eventually. Everything has beginning, middle, and end. But how about understanding what is your role in all of this, Sagittarius? What is your projection onto the other person? What are you thinking that they are thinking? Is this even true? Are you doing something to create foundations for your family in the long run? Reevaluate your relationship, Sagittarius. See what is truly supportive and look at your foundations and see how are you aligned with the family that you have or want to have, or the home you have or the home you want to have. How's that base supporting you so you can skyrocket in your career, in yourself and self-confidence, and in your relationship? Maybe you think, I will start the family only when blah blah blah, and you have this fear, right? Like, I cannot afford X, Y, and Z. Or maybe I should get this first and then I'll do all this family or home things. I need more money to do this renovation, or I need to do this and that. Well, it's only going to pile up. I'm sorry to break it to you. It will be piling up, and it's gonna be, you would have to get focused, and to ensure the long term is checked in with. So check in with your long term and see what I can do to ease this tension. Because like, for some signs I say, don't cut corners, don't this, that. But sometimes here it's like, why are you creating extra corners, Sagittarius? Why are you creating extra corners? Actually cut some corners. Cut. You don't need to do this elaborate renovation when you can just do something Scandinavian style. Just paint everything white and put a checkered tablecloth. And that's minimalist cool style, like I'm just joking here. But of course, it's no joking matter. Family is no joking matter. And this transit will show you that. Love you, Sagittarius, and speak to you later. Capricorn, Jupiter in Gemini will be lighting up your sixth house of daily work and health, while Saturn in Pisces is grounding your communication, thought process, and daily interactions in the third house. Hello? The fuck? This square is about aligning your daily routines with clear, structured communication and effective thought process. It is time to uproot outdated ways of thinking and communicating, and you know how to do that. Redefine how you navigate everyday world on here and now. So if someone is going to try to tell you, oh, strategize and this and that, and you will be like, I know what I'm doing tonight, tomorrow night, and the next 2 weeks. Everyone else, you can talk to me in 2 weeks. Bye. So it's like very kind of like a cutthroat, but what's new, Capricorn? What's Jupiter in the sixth house is going to show you where you could do more. It's going to show you more opportunities for being at service. Perhaps you expand your online presence. You really reach far and wide. And if there's any strategy you are applying, it's the strategy of what makes sense to you and what are your goals and how you're going to communicate your goals and what you're going to do about it. But it's like sprint style, okay? It's sprint style. All the while, the way you talk, it's like, I kind of want to try something new. I want to really share my expertise. I really want to make an impact, and I want to make it at the large scale. And I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I know what my next little step is. So you're aligning your communication with your everyday life, and that brings you to that sweet spot where you are like feeling optimistic. Optimistic is going to work because out of all the signs, Capricorns have got that more realistic approach, but here you actually feel a bit lighter and you feel physically lighter. And how you're going to adjust your thinking, it could be like a shift, a mental paradigm shift, which is amazing. So you will be your own guide and you will trust your intuition more, but you will be testing everything. See if it really is for real. Really is for real. You're going to be testing it. Yeah, the word salad could be the kind of the downside of this transit. So make sure you are clear and you have the next 2 weeks of your life nailed down, so you don't have any surprises. But again, long-term strategies, I'm sure they will be redefined as you go along. So do not spend day and night figuring out a 5-year plan right now, Capricorn. Love you so much. Bye. So Aquarius, this is going to be a very cool transit for you as we have Jupiter in Gemini sparking your creativity with daring ideas and something that you are really keen to try. All your creative projects, your children, your heart's desire, your loyalties are expanding, shifting, playing. It feels like your creative projects are having a life of their own, and you just love seeing the progress there, and you love see the experimentation. And because you're the innovator of the Zodiac, you're like, bring this on, thank you. And Saturn in Pisces is in your second house, so you are realizing that, hey, with money, sometimes you need to spend money to make money. And what is that fair exchange that you set out for yourself? And are you going to break that ceiling? What is possible for you? What financial securities you are applying? Are you applying financial securities? How rigid are you? Is it hard to let go of your money? What are your financial habits here? Like, you have to be looking at everything, ins, outs. And how are you valuing yourself, your time? So if you, let's say, think, oh, maybe I can make this creative project a career now, what am I going to charge for it? Am I feeling comfortable in this? Or the other thing, like, let's say, as your creative projects have the life of their own, how are they affecting your finances? Are you what is the sacrifice there? And should there be one? What is the bigger vision here? How are you integrating your creative passion with your sense of worth? What is the relationship there? I love this transit for you. I'm sure you're gonna get a lot out of this physically and spiritually, because Saturn is in Pisces. It's asking us to connect to the divine, and the divine is a little secret I'm going to share with you, is you are divine. So that would be such a breath of fresh air. And you love that. Okay, Aquarius, I'm wishing you a beautiful transit. It's time to align your creativity with your values and make an impact in this world through that new sense of security that you now hold, not only for yourself, but also for your children and for your passions, for your romantic lovers, and for friends who just bring a smile to your face and cheer you on as you pursue your most challenging, nitty-gritty pursuits, nitty-gritty perspectives, new perspectives, Aquarius. Love you. Bye. Pisces. Redefining your identity this transit. I'm telling you, Jupiter in Gemini will be in your 4th house of home and family, and Saturn will be and has been already in your sign, in your 1st house. Wow. Aligning yourself, the one you can hold in your arms, with the expression that you thought was never possible, but now it's actually so real. And you are uprooting old patterns that were defining you in the past. And where were you 30 years ago? Look at that and see how far you have come. Again, your persona reflects your inner growth. So everything you have outside of yourself is the reflection of your internal processes. And I'm not saying that that is like materialistically driven. That like let's say you live in a hut. I'm just gonna make it a brutal example, and someone else lives in the castle. It doesn't mean that they are this amazing person and you are a nobody. It's subtle. It's fine-tuned. It's more about how much is that person in the castle ready to take in. How much space do they have inside for all these material things? And sometimes, like I've seen it many times when people are really humble, but they're focusing on the negative, and they say, oh, I cannot make this much money, or oh, I cannot meet the person I love. Everyone is taken. That's the negatively charged like concept of the world. I'm not saying you have to be naive or anything like that, but how is that inner space allowing things to come in and redefine everything that's happening outside of you? So that is what I want to communicate here. Your personal power and identity and your place in the world depends on you. And that's like news to Pisces sometimes, because it's such a cosmic, ethereal energy that can get a bit defocused and turn into fog. And then in the fog, we can't see anything. We can't even see ourselves. Where do we stand? Well, Jupiter in Gemini is kind of like poking that Saturn in your sign and saying, hey, bear, wake up. Poke the bear, poke your own bear, Pisces. And that's what is happening, because your family dynamics are changing. There's no doubt about it. And how are you standing in your own way to allow more space so you can make everyone in your home environment fit, right? And coexist and work together and actually have a laugh and share the positively charged mindset. So that's a challenge. That's a challenge, I'm telling you. It's not going to be smooth sailing, especially for you. Out of all the signs, you have Saturn in your sign. So I just want to congratulate you on making it this far in this transit. Saturn is retrograde at the moment, and it will be going direct. So you will have that, like, allow time. Do not be rushed by your family members, by your work colleagues. Like, do not be rushed by anyone, but allow that inner space. And what are you going to do to create that space? Are you going to go with a machete, or are you going to massage gently through it? It's your personal relevance to you. And yeah, look at your old patterns and what made you reach this spot, and give it a good proper look, and try to leave those pink glasses somewhere for the other day, I guess. And yeah, wishing you well, Pisces. Let me know how you're going. I'm curious to hear from you, and I'm wishing you a good transit. This is going to be a transformative transit for you. So take the most out of it, because you can, and you will. Love you. Bye.